Is history. Lakers give up 113 tonight in Toronto. Again, without Kyle Lowry, without Serge Ibaka in the lineup, go to L.A. and beat the Lakers 113-104. They broke it open with a 13-3 run to start the fourth quarter. And tomorrow night, they'll reunite with Kawhi Leonard as they take on the Clippers in the second half of a Staples back-to-back on the road for the Raptors. How impressed are you with what the champs have done here tonight?
Very. I mean, not so much that they're having a good season. I thought they would be a legit contender in that Eastern Conference coming into this year because I felt like Siakam was going to step into that void that was created with Kawhi leaving. But to do it without Ibaka, knowing Lowry's out, but the rest of that supporting cast stepped up. Fred VanVleet was terrific. Siakam started poorly in this game but came on, and their defense was the difference, I felt. Did a great job defending LeBron, didn't really allow him to have an impact in terms of his scoring, and made him inefficient in terms of his field goal attempts. So that was an impressive performance by the Raptors.
They got some key contributions from Boucher, 15 points. VanVleet, as you talked about, near triple-double, 3 assists away from a triple-double, and a solid performance once again from Siakam. The thing that surprised me last year coaching against Toronto, we played them early in the season, was how fast they play. And the fast break points, I think, tonight indicated that. They really, once they got stops, they got out and transitioned and turned them into points on the other end. And I think that was the difference. You know, one of the things, the Lakers come at you with the big, long lineup. They crashed the offensive boards. They took a lot of threes down the stretch when the game was close, when they were trying to get in. And when those don't go in, it calls for long rebounds, and when they got long rebounds, they kicked it up the floor and got some easy baskets to stretch out that lead.
32-8 in fast break points tonight, and the Lakers' three-point shooting troubles continue. I think I said they were 27th in the league in three-point percentage, 10 of 30 tonight, so just 33%. LeBron James did record his 85th career triple-double, fourth of this season, but the Lakers' win streak is now history, and the Raptors doing it on the road tonight. And it'll be interesting tomorrow night against Kawhi Leonard, assuming he's playing, and we have no reason to think he's not. But tomorrow night, the reuniting with Kawhi, the championship squad on the road taking on the Clippers.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how, when that game starts, if they really go, if he goes at his old team and if they go at him, if there's any hard feelings about. I mean, obviously, they feel good about the fact that they won a championship and he was the main part of why that happened. But if there's any hard feelings about him leaving and not giving them a chance to defend the championship as a group, as the group that won it together. But, it'll be interesting. It's the second night of a back-to-back. They can always use that as an excuse, but I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, and I don't think it'll be emotional. Kawhi wasn't as emotionally invested as, say, DeMar DeRozan. And I think
it's not in Toronto.
It's not in Toronto. And the fact that they won it with him, I think those guys are going to be far more appreciative for having had that experience. And I also just think from Toronto's standpoint, just like they showed tonight, they're trying to serve notice to the rest of the league that, we know we're shorthanded and we don't have Kawhi, but we're still a really good basketball team. We're still the defending world champs. And you're going to have to respect us. And so I think you're going to see a pretty good effort from them come tomorrow night.
It's been an impressive start to the season for the Toronto Raptors, who are now 7-2 just in L.A. Here's the schedule moving forward, starting with that Toronto game. Look at their next 8. They're either, for the most part, home games or road games against teams that at least traditionally you would think they could beat. Now, the Suns are playing great right now. What are the chances they could run the table on this 8-game stretch and go 15-1?
I'm going to go out on a limb and say none. I think they're going to lose 1, maybe 2 of those games. And the one thing I learned, even on great teams, you always get beat by the teams you don't expect to get beaten by. I remember one year we won 62 games when I was with the Knicks, and we lost back-to-back games by 25 to 2 teams that combined to win 42 games on the season. That's the nature of the NBA. You're going to go into an arena and somebody's going to get hot and you're going to be off and you're not going to have it on that particular night. Now, the one advantage they have, and they've shown it this season, they're uniquely qualified to be successful because they're so good defensively. They can withstand a lot of off nights shooting the basketball.
That travels.
But I just get a feeling, because they're also the Lakers, you're going to be up for them, that some of those teams that maybe we don't expect, to
Sure.
have a great performance are going to come out and give them some business.
And I think they have a great chance of running through all of those teams that they have coming up if they don't load manage. This would give them an opportunity to really separate themselves from some of the other top tier teams in the Western Conference if they can get these games. But it'll be interesting to see if they if they try to sit AD for a game or so here or LeBron for a game or so there.
LeBron says he's not load managing.
We will
Unless
see.
he's hurt, he says he's not going to sit.
He managed his load last year. Quite a bit.
And I had a front row seat.
Yeah, you did. I mean, because of that torn groin, he missed a lot of games last year.
Well, he got a lot of rest.
No postseason.
Right.
For the first time in forever. So he's probably chomping at the bit to play at this point because of how everything transpired a season ago.
All right, next question. Are you more surprised by the 5-3 Suns? The Lakers have won 7 straight games now. Are you a believer that they're as good as this record?
I am. First of all, every night that they step on the floor, they have probably the 2 best players that are playing in the game on their team. And then when you add the defensive prowess that this team has added this year, adding Avery Bradley, Danny Green, Anthony Davis. You also have Caruso, who can D up, KCP, who's a good defensive player, JaVale, Dwight Howard protecting the rim, and Frank Vogel, who's known for his defensive game planning. And so they bought into that. And then offensively, I don't worry about this team. With LeBron playing the point, you can always throw him and Anthony Davis in a 2-man game, and they can figure the rest of it out. But their defense is for real, and it showed in their record.
Number 1 rated defense in terms of efficiency for the LA Lakers, who come in at 7-1. And you see the difference between last year and this year. They've improved offensively from 24th to 17th, still middle of the pack offensively, but best in terms of a defensive rating, net rating as well. Is there any, I mean, it's too early to start asking this, but I'm going to ask you anyway. It's November. Are there pieces that they'll need before a playoff run coming in April, assuming everybody is healthy between now and then?
Yeah, the ones that aren't healthy. In essence, getting Rondo back integrated and figuring out, okay, what's his role going to be with this roster? Figuring out Kuzma, is he going to be their 6th man? Is he going to be kind of an instant offense guy for them, which is probably where they're going to lean. But then you want to establish, I think they've established their defensive identity, and we know who their 2 culprits are going to be offensively initially with Davis and obviously LeBron, but we still haven't seen what their total identity is going to be on that side of the ball. And that's going to be somewhat of a challenge for a guy like Frank Vogel, who's not known for offense, right? I think the advantage he's got is he's got 2 of the best basketball minds playing when you talk about LeBron and Davis and obviously Rondo as well. So I think I want to see what their ceiling is offensively. I think their defense is going to serve them well moving forward. But offensively, will they go to another level? That's going to tell me whether or not this team has a chance to be not just a championship caliber team, but they could be a great team, because there's a lot of teams right now that are all solid, but I don't see a lot of teams that I feel like have a chance to be great this year.
They haven't shot the ball all that well from 3-point range. Where else can they get better offensively as the season goes on and guys get to know each other a little better?
Well, I think it actually works out to their advantage that they play at somewhat of a slow pace, and with their defense being what it is, they're going to, take possessions off of both teams' side in terms of offensively. And I think that's going to work in their favor as their half-court execution gets better, as they get more familiar with one another as the season goes on. And the pace is slow, which Frank Vogel's teams have always been known for. Like I said, I think that'll work out in their favor. Offensively, I don't think that they're going to be a team. They're longer in the tooth at most of the positions, and I don't think that they're going to get up and down and run with those teams that play at a fast pace. But they know that they can get a bucket inside with Anthony Davis. They can put him and LeBron in pick-and-roll games. They do have the spacing now because they've added a lot of shooting to this team, and they have great size. And so when they do miss, they have guys in Dwight Howard, in Anthony Davis, in JaVale McGee that can get on the offensive boards, and they have been pounding teams that have tried to play small against them.
22nd in the league so far, so bottom third in the NBA. All right, much more to get to here on a Sunday night. Coming up, the 4-game series. Last year, Denver wins game number 1 for this time around. Jokic 2 straight game winners after an early part of the season where the Nuggets were winning games, but the discussion was really about how engaged he looked. There were some games he didn't take a bunch of shots. Last 2 games, I think 22 and 23 field goal attempts. What is more important to you, the number of shots or just the way he goes about the game?
Yeah, I don't know that he's the kind of guy that's going to get 20, 25 every night. I don't think that fits his personality.
Right.
You know, he's more of a guy, he reminds me in some respects of Rasheed Wallace. A guy who kind of just wants to get his through the flow of the offense. Now, you've seen him be more aggressive